Well, hey folks, this is Real Honesty with Jeremy Mifflin. This is the second part of my WWE Raw fantasy booking series. Big shout out to Noah's Lynch. Thank you very much for the inspiration for this. Your idea was originally for me to book 1 or 2 good to great episodes of Raw, just fantasy booking my own way, and I took that idea and expanded upon it. For those who didn't watch part 1, please watch that, because otherwise you're not really going to have much of an idea what's going on. I'll put that at the end, by the way, just in case you missed any parts of it that you want to go back and watch. But basically the idea is, my idea is how to generate interest in Raw, how to help the Raw ratings and everything. How would I help the Raw ratings? Tournaments. 4 tournaments to determine number 1 contenders for the tag titles, women's, IC title, and universal title. 16 entrants in each tournament. First round's already been completed. That was part 1, weeks 1 through 4. And then I'll probably do weeks 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, and 10 for the third part, so don't worry. This is going to be stretched out a little bit, but it won't be that bad. This was, and by the way, apologies for my voice. I can't get rid of these allergies no matter how hard I try, so thank you guys very much for putting up with that. But that was the idea for it, and you introduce new talents while using some underutilized talents, and even if you have established talents or underutilized talents that lose after like gaining like 1 match or whatever, you've established that these are people to watch or whatever. It's the best of the best. Maybe create some fresh matchups, some new feuds, and a way to build on it, and a way to go past these 10 weeks and keep this stuff going and create interesting feuds. I mean, yeah, you could book for the pay-per-views also and everything, and yes, there would be pay-per-views sprinkled in that I have not bothered booking. I'm just focusing on Raw. That's the way you do it. That would generate interest in Raw. I'm not saying that Raw would ever hit Monday Night War ratings heights, but good God, I could get, even with this booking, even if they just use this format, this could get them back above 3s easily. They could get them up to like almost 4s if they tried something like this. But here's the way I do it. For the first number of weeks, like the first 7 weeks or so, 2 matches from each tournament per show. So basically like 2 tags, 2 women's, 2 IC, 2 universal to get the tournament, well established and everything, especially since you got 16 entrants each. You need to get through these some of these tournaments pretty quickly. And then you have a random championship match at the end, and there you go. It could be an open challenge or whatever. That's basically the idea. For those of you who might missed the introduction in part 1. So anyway, here we go. Second round's technically quarterfinals since we are in the final 8. Tag title tournament kicks us off. AOP defeats Heavy Machinery in about 10 minutes. Otis gets in some good offense, has a good showing. Tucker Knight eventually falls to the last chapter. Heavy Machinery doesn't look weak. AOP certainly looks dominant and everything. Drake's very happy, but they show a tiny bit of vulnerability because Otis is a big lad, so is Tucker, and they are super over with the crowd. But AOP has to go over here. There's a big reason for that, because I have a reason for why I decided to, have AOP advance as far as they do. Bit of a spoiler there. But yeah, so AOP advances to the Final 4. And then we have the women's second round. We have Liv Morgan versus Brie Bella. And this is playing off the whole thing of where Brie had injured Liv. And yes, I ranted about that on the Raw before the one. By the way, check out the review that myself and the Durban did for the Seattle edition. We were actually at that show live. And oh God, yes, the crowd was as lively as it came across on TV. More lively than it came across on TV. It was amazing. You couldn't even hear it. You couldn't hear the person next to you. The boos were so loud. It was amazing. But anyway, it's playing out the whole thing of Liv being injured by Brie. And Brie did not intentionally do it. I'm not trying to say that, even though I did rant about Brie. But they play it up. And Brie had won her first round match by being a bit heelish and everything. And injuring. And says that she's going to take Liv out for good, basically. Playing up the whole heel thing. I mean, you might as well have Brie lean into it, even if she's going to be a babyface with Daniel Bryan, if they're going to have her appear on SmackDown. This is the way to do it, because at least you're capitalizing on something. And of course, Liv would sign off on it. And Liv would, help Brie get her comeuppance. Because the way she would do it is Brie's like doing this and everything, and, Liv's in the ring. Brie comes down, does her entrance and everything. Nikki's there with her. Sarah Logan's like with Liv and stuff like that. And you have Brie and everything, Brie taunting. And then, is celebrating with Nikki and everything, saying what she did. And Liv just like clocks her. As soon as Brie turns around, Liv just clocks her. And just beats her up. And the bell hasn't even rung yet. And just beats her up. Bell rings finally. Brie goes to attack. tries to hit a spear, hits a spear, but Liv just like, basically locks on gets a big old headlock and everything, and just takes her down. And Brie's starting to get choked out. Brie manages to fight out of it. Tries to hit a few punches. Tries some offense. Liv just beats her to powder. And hits her finisher. I don't know what Liv's finisher actually is because I haven't seen her win that many matches. But she gets victory after like 5 minutes and just gets her revenge on Brie for now. You can always play up into this later. But this way, Brie can't just fight her way through a tournament injuring people. I thought of doing that, but I didn't want Brie to advance to the Final Four because that just wasn't good because I have an idea for the Final Four. And then you have a Universal title quarterfinal match. Braun beats Kevin Owens in 10 minutes. Not the dominant SummerSlam squash match. Good God, that was a squash. But after Owens gaining some offense and doing some heelish tactics, Braun takes over, does his usual antics. Owens does his flips outside. Braun hits him with a couple power slams in the ring, 1, 2, 3. And Braun advances to the semifinals. And then the IC title quarterfinals, you have Mustafa Ali versus Adam Cole. Baby. I don't know why Droopy's talking like that. But anyway, you have Adam Cole beat Ali. Even though Ali hits the 054, Cole gets his foot on the rope. And then Ali tries it again. Cole manages to hit the last shot soon after because he manages to knock Ali off the ropes. Ali kind of selling the whole thing for the concussion, because it says it's taking place in that timeline where it's selling the concussion thing that he's got going on with that current storyline with Hideo Itami. And then, but last shot, 1, 2, 3, Adam Cole advances, and good match and good showing for Ali, even in defeat. Then you have a few interviews with a couple of the people that won, before, and then some people that are going to be in the matches later. Just as a way to cool down everything. That way, people in the arena can get their popcorn, people can get stuff to eat. Other, dedicated fans can pay attention and stuff like that. But the whole point is a bit of a cool down. Let the crowd calm down and everything. And then you start off the show again proper. And you have 5 more matches. You have tag titles, tag title tournament. Revival versus Gallagher and Kendrick, 14 minutes. Revival get the victory. Gallagher has some good offense, getting some good submissions in, some good strikes. And that headbutt, sweet Jesus, that headbutt. Kendrick trying to captain's hook. That doesn't work. Kendrick eventually falls to the Shatter Machine, and the Revival advance. Revival starting to be built and everything to a spectacular degree where, good God, the Revival are actually starting to seem legit. Wait, the Revival are legit. They just aren't being booked like it. And then the women's match. And you have Bayley versus Ruby. And y'all think you know where I'm going with this. Y'all think you know where I'm going. I'm going with Ruby. Maybe y'all thought I was going with that. Yeah, I knocked Bayley out of the tournament this early because, let's be honest, Bayley can be rebuilt. Being rebuilt in this tournament is not the way to go. Now, I thought about putting her in the finals. Realistically, I decided to go with Ruby. I feel Ruby deserves more of a chance. Bayley has had a chance to be champion multiple times. She was NXT Women's Champion for a while. She was Raw Women's Champion. That didn't work because they ruined it. But anyway, Bayley and Ruby have a really, really nice back and forth match. Ruby gets, gets some heat on her and everything and beats her a bit. Bayley makes her comeback, tries to Bayley to belly. And tries to Bayley to belly. And, Ruby slips out, riot kick just as Bayley's trying and trying to hit it again. Because just boom, just kicks her in the head just when Bayley's trying to grasp. And 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Ruby advances to the Final Four. And then we have, the Universal title quarterfinals. Gulak versus Balor. 18 minutes. And Gulak almost gets a victory. Just comes within a fraction, within a hair of it. Balor gets a victory. Balor hits the coup de grace. Coup de Gracie. Coup de Royce Gracie. That would be weird. It'd be weird to see him try that. Especially at his age. But anyway. Balor gets a victory. Gulak looks strong in defeat. Gulak gained some good performances on these episodes of Raw, at least in the first 5 weeks. And then you have IC title quarterfinals. Apollo versus Bray, and Bray. I'm trying to rebuild Bray a little bit here. I don't know when Bray's actually going to come back to TV. Of course, by the time you guys watch this, he may already be back on TV. I'm not sure, but who knows? He might show up at Super Showdown. I'm going to put this up just before Super Showdown, but that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, Bray beats Apollo in about 12 minutes. Apollo looks pretty good. But Bray gets the knees up when Apollo tries the the standing moonsault, and then hits like a brand new finish. He could either hit Sister Abigail or you get a brand new finish, or he could hit, I don't know, like not a complete shot. He could hit something like Scorpion Death Drop. No, give him Sister Abigail for now. But anyway, bottom line is Bray gets a victory. You can go a bunch of different ways with Bray. They do need to reinvent his character though. And anyway, tag titles: Dolphin Drew versus the Street Profits. Street Profits answer the open challenge, and Street Profits lose in about 12 minutes. They have a good showing. Of course, Ford, Madcap bumping like crazy, hitting some great dives and everything. Dawkins showing off his strength. But Drew just showing ridiculous strength by first tossing Ford like halfway across the ring, and then tossing Dawkins nearly that distance. And Dawkins is a lot bigger. So yeah, Dolphin Drew get the victory. They maintain their tag championships, retain them and everything. And then we move on from week 5 to week 6. And that continues the quarterfinals, and the women are going to take center stage here with first match, fifth match, and the championship match in that order. So, women's quarterfinal, Bianca versus Shayna. Bianca puts up a really good fight and everything. At one point, even tries to deadlift Shayna. That ends up being her downfall, as Shayna starts just clubbing her, eventually locks on, it's called the Tarabuda Clutch, I call it the Barracuda Clutch. I just think that's a funnier name. I'm also a bit of an idiot, as you guys can plainly tell from my channel. But that's part of the fun. Anyway, Shayna does get the victory. Bianca does look strong in defeat. And yeah, Shayna advances. I think you know where I'm going with the women's tournament here at this point. Universal title. Lashley defeats Cedric Alexander in about 12 minutes. Cedric has a really, really good showing. Tries a lumbar check. But doesn't quite work. He tries, but Lashley, okay, I hate to do this, but he's going to try. He's going to barely hit it. And then Lashley's going to end up hitting a spear. An actual spear. That's how you hit a spear, Roman. And 1, 2, 3. Because Lashley's going to win with the spear. You want to put over a spear, put it over like that. I don't mind a delayed vertical suplex, but it should not be a finisher. Because it's not. He's super strong, but it's not a very good finisher. Give him the spear. So Lashley defeats Cedric. Cedric has a good showing. He's still the Cruiserweight champion. As of the recording of this, I actually do hope Buddy Murphy beats him in Super Showdown. But anyway, then, IC title. You get a second round match here, and you get TJP versus Mike Kanellis. And Mike Kanellis wins. TJP cannot, become the first Filipino-born IC champion. Mike Kanellis, shockingly, has gotten 2 stunning victories in this tournament after not really winning much, though he did beat No Way Jose at a recent main event that myself and the Durban saw. That was the one in Seattle. People were booing Mike Kanellis. I didn't understand that. Well, Bennett, Kanellis, whatever. He seems like a good guy. And good on him for getting clean. That's part of the reason I'm giving him this, is he deserves a redemption storyline. He really does. And that's what I'm giving him here. So even though he's getting like the shocking victory and stuff like that, kind of pushing him a bit as a babyface, which is a bit odd. And then tag title second round. The Sings lose to Elias and Kevin Owens. And Owens is kind of still selling the bit of the beating from last week, because Braun did kind of beat him to powder last week. So Elias does end up hitting to drift away on Sunil and 1, 2, 3. But Sings had a good showing in this tournament. He gained a victory, and even losing here, they're back as a team, and they were actually cheered and being used better, and not just Ginger's lackeys. That's the whole point of them being featured in this tournament. And then you have a few interviews, you have whatever. And then the women's second round, you have Sarah Logan defeat Alicia Fox. So you have now all 3 members of the Riot Squad in the Final 4, and Shayna Baszler. You can guess where I'm going with this. There's, I wanted to put the Riot Squad over because, look, Liv, I wanted to give Liv a bit of a redemption and stuff like that. That's why. Sarah, I think Sarah's a good project, and quite frankly, Alicia, I don't think anybody would have bought Alicia advancing too far, all due respect to how great she is in the ring, but her getting at least one victory in this tournament had to happen. And Alicia can get her title shot down the line. I could always fantasy book more Raws. Who knows? I don't think I will, but who knows? But yeah, so Sarah advances, and then you have Universal title second round. You have Drew defeat Ambrose in a 20-minute classic where no interference. Sure, you get us some barricade bumps, step bumps, stuff like that. No interference, no controversy, no raking the eyes, no, exposed turnbuckle. Dean tries the dirty deeds. Drew shoves him off, and Dean tries again. Drew flips him over, and just as Dean's recovering, Claymore kick, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. Drew gets the victory, and there you are. That's what you have to do. And then IC title second round, No Way Jose loses to Elias. Elias shocking, because even though he had to do a lot of the heavy lifting there in the tag match, the Sings, no offense, were not any match for Elias or Owens. And he was able to beat No Way Jose, even though No Way Jose did hit the knockout punch. He wasn't able to get the victory in time, or, get the pin in time. Elias had to drift away. Elias advances in the IC title tournament. And that's the way you build Elias. And why? The reason you build Elias that way is because Elias is damn good and should have been IC champion at some point. He won't be here, but you have to rebuild him. You have to rebuild him. And you know why you have to rebuild him? And apologies, by the way, a little tired. You have to rebuild him because he's damn good. Elias is damn good. He's damn good at getting heat and all that stuff. So, tag title, second round, Rollins and Ambrose. Because Ambrose is tired after losing to Drew. They lose to Lashley and Lio Rush in a 20-minute match where, yes, Ambrose is trying everything, but he's too tired and can't catch Lio. Rollins can. But Lashley, of course, is powerful and everything. And even though Lashley beats Cedric, Lio and Rollins kind of carry this whole match, for a bit and everything. Even though Lashley and Ambrose have their time where they bump in. And this could be where Corbin, who's still the GM, exerts his power and everything. And says, no, Shield guys, you're going to get back in the ring and you're going to wrestle 2 matches a night. So yeah, Lashley and Lio get the victory after a nice, great 20-minute tag match. And yeah, you could say I'm overexposing some talents, but still, this was, this would be a fun match. And then women's title, Ronda versus Bayley, and it ends up being a 10-minute match where you have Ronda obviously win. Oh yeah, Bayley beat Ronda. No, you have Ronda beat Bayley, but you don't ever do it by tap out. You ever do it by pin. Ronda comes up with like a spinning back fist, some kind of impactful finisher where now she has she's a 2-tiered star and has big weapons and stuff like that. 1, 2, 3, and Bayley gets knocked out. So she doesn't tap out. And that way, Ronda can vary up her offense and everything. So it ties into what I'm going to be doing with the women's tournament a little bit later. So now, move on to week 7. And this is going to be the final one here because I've gone into a lot of fantasy booking and everything and all that. Which was the whole point of this, but I've gone into some details about this. And I'm really enjoying what I've been doing here because a lot of the stuff I didn't write down, I'm coming up with here by just looking at my notes. So now, semifinals, you're going to have basically the rest of the tournament matches until you get to the finals. Universal will lead the charge and close the show. Braun versus Balor, 15-minute classic. Braun gets a victory. Balor comes up short in his quest to get his title shot, but he doesn't go down without a fight. And that way, it's not like Balor getting squashed and everything. Balor almost gets victory, but Braun, a couple running power slams, 1, 2, 3. IC title second round. Bray loses to Adam Cole. Bray. That was, God, missed opportunity with that joke. Adam Cole beats Bray, though. A nice little 15-minute match. I know I say little, even though the other one was just 15 minutes. Good workhorse match, and Bray showing that he deserves, that he belongs, but can't quite close it. And, Adam Cole gets the victory. And Adam Cole goes on to the finals. And that's the way you do it. Because that's how you introduce. Adam Cole is really damn good. And if you want to put the rocket on somebody, there are way worse people you can put it on. He is somebody you can put the rocket on and build around for a number of years. Tag title second round. Or tag title, semifinal, that is. AOP versus the Revival. AOP advances to the finals by beating the Revival in 14 minutes. Revival do hit the Shatter Machine at one point. The problem is it ends up hurting them because they're so, Akam and Razor are so big, they don't hit on both of them. That would actually hurt. But hits it on one of them. But, like Dawson's holding his fucking back or whatever, hurts his knee. And then eventually falls to the last chapter. So, the Revival have, I don't want to say a cop-out and everything, but they tried everything and they hit their big move, but because they were such big lads, AOP, they just couldn't capitalize. So AOP advances to the finals, and Drake is very happy. And then we move on to the women's match. And Ruby versus Liv. And this is where you have, you don't have the Riot Squad explode. You do not have that. But they recognize we're here to start a riot, but it's every woman for themselves. No friends here. And they do go all out. They don't try to injure each other, but they try to win the match. Ruby ends up eventually hitting Riot Kick 1, 2, 3, and Liv falls. As she should. Because Ruby is a more experienced worker. Liv had a good showing. Got a couple tournament wins. Got a revenge on Brie for now. And there you go. That's a way you do it. That's how you close some stories and open up another one here on this. Ruby advances to the finals. Few interviews, a couple of the losers. Hey, you did well and everything, but you came up short. This kind of stuff. Have an interview with Liz. Get Liv over as a bit of a sympathetic babyface, because that way, even though the Riot Squad technically are heels, but I still cheer them anyway. But that way, if you ever wanted to, either turn the Riot Squad face or put Liv out on her own, you have that seed planted. I would turn the Riot Squad babyface. I wouldn't split them up. And then Universal title, semifinals. Drew defeats Lashley. Yeah, Drew defeats Lashley. So Drew gets to the finals. So we are having Braun versus Drew. Yes. So would you be here for that? Yes, you would. The Doges of War explode. Gross. But Drew wins. Nice 15-minute match. And then IC title semifinal. Who is going to face Adam Cole? Baby, we're going to have Elias versus Mike Kanellis. And I'm sorry, Elias, but Mike Kanellis is getting the victory here. And here's why. Elias and Owens would get a championship run at some point. Elias got in here, and you're telling the story of Mike Kanellis having this redemption storyline. And he beats Elias. Because Elias and Owens have their own storyline going with Lashley and Leo and doing well in this tournament. Well, they did well in this tournament and everything, but they have this underlying feud with Lashley and Leo going on. Mike Kanellis got the redemption storyline. He advances to the finals. And what's going to happen? We'll have to find out in the next edition. Then tag title, semifinals. Lashley and Leo. Lashley, not all that great. But they defeat Elias and Owens. Because Elias and Owens just can't catch Leo. They just can't do it. And Elias is still distraught because he's still out at ringside because his match was just on before. He's still distraught and everything. Owens ends up taking the pin after a spear. But Elias is just distraught because he couldn't catch Leo. And he lost his chance at the IC title. But it's a way to build. It's a way to build. Because Elias and Owens are going to get a title shot at some point. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now that I'm getting inspired on this, I might turn this into more than just 10 weeks of TV. I might turn this into 12 weeks and continue this. So stay tuned. We'll find out. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyway. Lashley and Leo advance. So they're going to face the AOP in the tag title finals. or tag tournament finals. Women's second round. Shayna defeats Sarah. It was about 8 minutes. Sarah is still the project. Very raw talent, and not just because she's on Raw. But there's somebody that hit some power moves on Shayna and did well. Shayna eventually got her in the, I'm just going to call it the Barracuda clutch, even though it's a Terrabuda clutch, and tapped out. Sarah tapped out. Shayna versus Ruby in the finals. And then Universal title, Gable answers Roman Reigns' open challenge. And 15 minutes, Gable actually ends up deadlifting and almost pinning Roman Reigns, but he doesn't get the victory. So that's where I'm going to actually leave that off. So I may end up doing some more stuff after this. I might. I don't know, but I have weeks 8, 9, and 10 to do. And then we'll see how I feel. But anyway, thank you guys for putting up with my insane ramblings, my fantasy booking, and the fact that my voice is basically shot. But thank you guys very much, and I hope you guys have enjoyed part 1 and have enjoyed part 2. Again, big shout out, big thank you to Noah's Lynch. Thank you very much for the suggestion for the show. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. It's been Real Honesty with Dermathlon, and I will see you soon.